What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fight Club. This is going to be a short episode. I'm filming from my bathroom right now. My studio downstairs has been taken over by a very hormonal and sick wife, so I don't want to disturb her right now. She's enjoying playing video games, so I'm going to real quick do my shithead of the week while sitting on the toilet. And don't you worry, I have pants on. So we're going to do a three-way shithead of the week this week. We're going to do Andrew Cuomo, Ted Cruz, and Joe Manchin. And I have a winner, and I'm going to real quick explain why these are the three shitheads of the week. So we're going to start with Cuomo. Did a little bit about him in the episode yesterday. He's in some hot water for a couple of things, namely that he issued an ordinance that made it so that a bunch of people in nursing homes were to be readmitted to their nursing homes without being tested for COVID first. That was bad enough, but then when he brought up in a separate incident, when his budget came up, his annual budget came up, they added a provision into his budget that gave corporate immunity to CEOs, executives of nursing homes, private nursing homes, and like hospitals and stuff. That's really, really bad. So he's in hot water for that, thanks to David Sirota. He broke the story back in May of 2020, and now Cuomo's in a whole bunch of hot water now in the mainstream media. My props to David Sirota, man. He broke the story like 9 months ago, and I read it back then, and that just shows you how far behind the mainstream media is. So that's why Andrew Cuomo's been nominated this week, and of course he is a shithead. We're going to move on to Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, he decided it was a good idea to go to Cancun while he's a senator in Texas right now. They're having to deal with one of the biggest crises in the last 10 years as far as weather goes. They're having a blizzard and all their power's out, and they have like sub-zero temperatures. So a lot of people there was a kid that froze to death now. I saw that, and Ted Cruz thought that this would be a great time to just, back up the kids and go to Cancun. So that's why he's in some hot water, and that's why he is also nominated for shithead of the week. Now, he did come back, but I don't care, man. You can't go. Sorry, you can't go. It's your state. You got to be there, man. So I do feel bad a little bit in that, like, all of Congress is out right now. They're all on vacation. So, like, this fell on Ted Cruz simply because his state is the one that's getting shellacked by weather right now. You telling me that, like, if this were happening to California, that Pelosi wouldn't also be on a fucking cruise someplace, or if it is happening in New York, Chuck Schumer wouldn't be doing the same exact thing? No, this just fell on Cruz. They're all on vacation, but it fell on Cruz because he's the one that happens to be from the state where the weather issue is. So he's in there. And then lastly is Joe Manchin. And Joe Manchin, he could get nominated every single week. Since mid-January, he's been holding up stimulus. He was publicly quoted as saying he was absolutely against $2,000 stimulus back in mid-January. And now that it's mid to late February, he's also the one holding up the minimum wage increase that is going to be built into Biden's rescue bill, as he's calling it. And Manchin has been saying that he thinks that we need more like an $11 minimum wage in West Virginia, because they have such a low minimum wage right now that if you raise the minimum wage to like more than double that what it actually is in West Virginia as a state law, that it'll put a whole bunch of small businesses out of business. Now, that will happen a little bit, but like not as much as he wants anybody to think. And it's a bogus argument, because as it turns out, and I looked this up today, to live as a family of four, husband, wife, and 2 kids, working full-time in West Virginia, and to live like a normal life, you have to make about $20 an hour. $20.14 an hour, if you want to know the exact number. And he's bitching about moving it up from like $6.50 or something to $15 an hour. Now, there is an argument can be made that certain areas need to adjust the minimum wage depending on what the standard of living is there. Like, and so he's not entirely wrong. Maybe a $13 or $14 hour minimum wage would be respectable in West Virginia if we could also get like a $25 minimum wage in New York, where it's much more expensive to live. But my response to what Joe Manchin had to say in terms of just like the simple $15 minimum wage across the board is like, fine, why don't we just let you have your $11 minimum wage for everyone in West Virginia, and every other state gets a $15 minimum wage if that's the way you want it, Joe Manchin. And then your constituents will crucify you upside down for deciding that you want to keep minimum wage below $15 an hour. And an argument can be made it should be $20. So I think you should just get on board. So he's been standing in the way, and of course Joe Biden isn't doing jack shit to strong arm Joe Manchin. He should be threatening him to go on the campaign trail and endorse a primary challenge against Joe Manchin if he doesn't get on board with Biden's relief bill. But of course, Joe Manchin and Joe Biden are on the same cocktail circuit. They're probably, thick as thieves. So he's not going to do that to him. Another advantage of having a possible Bernie Sanders presidency is that I guarantee you he would have done that to Joe Manchin. So I'm going to give, and if you know me at all, you already know which one it is. And I'm going to explain real quickly why. The shithead of the week is definitely Joe Manchin. And that's for a couple of reasons. I'm excluding Cuomo because, again, like I said, Cuomo is in deep shit for shit he did back in, like, March. So he was a shithead of the week back when David Sirota broke that story 9 months ago. So, yeah, it's in the news now, but all this stuff is like a year old. So, no, he can't be the shithead of the week just because it happens to be in the mainstream media right now. Good job, MSNBC and CNN, for finally breaking the story, you fucks. And it can't be Ted Cruz either because, of course, like I said, he is not unique in that all of them are on vacation right now. All of them. Ted Cruz just happens to be the one coming from the state with the crisis right now. So it fell on his ass, but it could have just as easily been Pelosi or Schumer, anybody on the Democratic side too, because they're all going to go on fucking vacation. Now, so it's Joe Manchin. He's the one that's actually doing shitty stuff right now the most. So I'm giving it to Joe Manchin, and I'm also going to give a hero of the week, real quick shout out. Has to be AOC. She's the only one who didn't take a fucking vacation. I've been real harsh with her lately, but I'm going to give props. As of 5 hours ago, her charity drive that she did down there, it raised $5 million for people in need in Texas. That's bananas. Now, I wish she would show that kind of fervor and fight actually in Congress. Because, if you just passed a good bill for Texas or for the country, you could send hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. So that dwarfs what you're actually doing. But as one person, I got to give props, man. She's like, I feel like that scene in Training Day where Denzel's real proud of Ethan Hawke for jumping out of the car and going and fighting those two crackheads in the alleyway and defending that young girl. It's like, it's kind of foolhardy, it's not well planned out. Like, I wish you would put a little more effort into like some actual things in Congress, but you got mad squabbles, girl. That was nice. I got to give props to AOC. Keep up the good work. But yeah, let's try to get some stuff done in Congress too, AOC. But the optics of this are fantastic. Biden has done nothing in Texas. AOC has done wonderfully in Texas. So I love that. Keep fighting the good fight, girl. All right. I'll see y'all later. Hopefully not broadcasting from my bathroom next time. See ya.